Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a partnership that, well, for a lot of you, was probably just there in the background of your childhood hobby time. Think back to getting maybe a Tamiya Hornet or the Grasshopper, that feeling of opening the box. And you're looking at those amazing instruction manuals, like blueprints almost. And one name keeps showing up for the radio gear, the servos. The Futaba S1001 servo, those funny plugs they had. It was always Futaba. So our mission today, figure out why this wasn't just, a suggestion. It was actually a really deep strategic thing, hugely beneficial for both Tamiya and Futaba, and it basically defined that whole era of RC. Okay, let's unpack this.
It's really interesting when you look at how they started, because their skills were so, complementary, almost like they were destined to team up. Tamiya, right, they kicked things off in 46. Started as a sawmill in Shizuoka. Can you believe it?
Sawmill, wow.
Yeah. Then they shifted to plastic models around 1960. Their whole thing became first in quality around the world. Very Tamiya. And the RC car thing really took off for them in 1976 with that amazing 112 scale Porsche 934 Turbo.
Oh yeah, the detail on that was legendary.
Exactly. And to get that detail, they actually took apart a real Porsche 911 Turbo.
Seriously?
Just to study it. So Tamiya, they absolutely nailed the mechanical side, the engineering, the kits themselves. Okay, now Futaba. Founded just a couple of years later, 1948, over in Chiba. They started with vacuum tubes.
Like old radios.
Yeah, and then those vacuum fluorescent displays, the bright green digital numbers on old VCRs or stereos, that was often them. But the key thing, Futaba started making radio control gear way back in 1962. That's a full 14 years before Tamiya's first RC car.
14 years. So Futaba were the old hands at electronics by the time Tamiya needed them.
Pretty much. They'd already figured out how to make reliable RC systems. So Tamiya mastered the physical car, Futaba mastered the invisible stuff, the radio waves.
That makes perfect sense. Tamiya builds the awesome car, Futaba makes it go reliably. Each focuses on their strength, saves a ton of money, not trying to do everything.
Exactly right. It's a classic synergy. Focus on your core competency. You see that today, too. Companies partnering up instead of trying to, reinvent the wheel everywhere.
And Tamiya's influence back then, especially in Japan, was just huge. You mentioned their 1985 guidebook, claiming 80% of the Japanese RC market.
Yeah, 80%. It's kind of staggering.
So when their manual showed Futaba gear, that wasn't just a hint. That was basically telling millions of people, use this.
It carried enormous weight. Absolutely.
But were there other choices? I mean, surely Futaba wasn't the only electronics company around. Why them specifically?
Oh, good question. No, it wasn't a monopoly. You had other strong Japanese brands. Sanwa, for instance, they were often more focused on serious racing gear. And Keo Propo, they pioneered the pistol grip transmitter, which was a big deal. And then maybe ACOMs, sometimes bundled as more of a budget option in certain regions. But Futaba, with their Attack Series radios, they were seen as the market leader for reliability and solid quality. Good for beginners, good for club racers. Tamiya wanted that consistent, positive experience for everyone buying their kits. Futaba delivered that.
Okay, so it wasn't just, hey, buy Futaba. This sounds deeper.
Oh, much deeper. It went way beyond just recommending their stuff. This was a true symbiotic relationship. Tamiya actually manufactured whole car kits for Futaba to sell under the Futaba brand.
Wait, really? Tamiya made Futaba-branded cars?
Yep. It's called an OEM alliance, original equipment manufacturer. Tamiya built it, Futaba sold it. Like the Futaba FX10 buggy, that was basically a Tamiya Striker or Sonic Fighter underneath. Same core parts.
I never knew that.
And the Futaba FXT truck. That was an OEM version of the Tamiya Stadium Blitzer. Sometimes the Futaba version even came with upgrades like oil-filled shocks straight out of the box.
Right.
And technically, Tamiya designed their chassis so Futaba servos would just drop right in. Perfect fit. They even designed around Futaba's specific servo plug, the one with that little plastic rib so you couldn't plug it in backwards.
I remember that plug.
Right. Foolproof installation. It all ties into that Japanese keiretsu idea, these networks of companies working closely together, reinforcing that made-in-Japan quality image they both shared.
That's fascinating. It's like a business family almost, not just supplier-customer.
Yeah.
But like you said, things changed. That kind of tight bond didn't last forever.
No, it evolved. Starting around the 2000s, Tamiya began to integrate vertically. Basically doing more themselves. They started making their own radio systems. You might have seen the Tamiya XPEC GTI radio.
Yeah, one that started coming with kits later on.
Exactly. And their own electronic speed controllers, the ESCs, like the TBLE's O2S that's in, almost everything now. Doing this gave Tamiya more control over the whole package, the whole experience. And frankly, as RC tech got more common, less sort of specialized, Tamiya could capture more of the profit margin themselves.
So that really marked the end of that super close exclusive era with Futaba.
Yeah, Futaba became just one option among many for Tamiya builders, not the default option depicted everywhere.
So wrapping this up,
True.
what's the takeaway? This Tamiya Futaba link,
Mm-hmm.
it was way more than just logos and a manual. It's this incredibly deep strategic alliance. It feels like they didn't just sell products together, they kind of built the RC hobby globally, making sure tons of people had a great, reliable first experience.
Absolutely. And, for collectors today, finding a vintage Tamiya buggy with its period-correct Futaba attack radio, that's special. It's historically right. A little time capsule of that partnership. And it makes you think, doesn't it? How might these kinds of really deep complementary partnerships, even the ones that change over time, how might they still be shaping industries today? Especially now, when technology is getting so complex and integrated, maybe that kind of focused expertise and collaboration is more important than ever.